All right, we're dealing with the equation of a circle here. And there's two ways to solve this, and one of them includes triangles. It's the SAT, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. All right, so what we got to do here is we want to look at what answers can we eliminate right off the bat. Well, we know that in the equation of a circle, we have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, where this represents our x coordinate and this represents our y coordinate of the center, both of these coordinates. So we know our center is at 0, 4. That makes sense as why this is just x squared. But when we think about positive 4, remember that means that it's straight up just going to go in here, which means it's actually y minus 4. So that eliminates b and d. And then ultimately the question comes down to what is the radius of this circle? Well, there's two ways to figure that out. The triangle method's pretty fun, so we'll start there. I'm going to go down a bit here to kind of make this as big as possible. I want to make this as large as possible. Now, I don't want to waste too much time making exact, like, crazy good, accurate like graphing proportions, because that's not what's important here. We know is that the center, though, is at 0, 4. And then the end point would be 1 up, right? Because we see that it goes up to the 5 marker, but then 4/3 to the side. And a better way to draw that is 4/3 to the side, and then 1 up, and that gives us our second dot here. And notice how that forms a right triangle. And that makes it very easy for us to find this radius, which I will now, let me emphasize that with a green. We want to solve for our radius here in green. And now we solve for that because it's a right triangle by using Pythagorean theorem. We just solve for it by saying that 4/3, yeah, we can just leave it at that. 4/3 squared plus 1 squared will equal our radius squared. So really what we have is 16/9, right? Because you square both the top and the bottom, plus 9/9, because 1 squared is just 1, and to make this fraction easier to work with, you just have that, equals r squared. And so 16 plus 9 would give us 25/9 equals r squared. And remember that in our equation of a circle, that last term is r squared, so that gives us a. Now, how can we use the distance formula? Well, remember, I can clear all this out, but this graph would still be helpful. And this is as much detail as you want, really, in your graph. Anything after that, you're wasting time. Is that we have a coordinate here of 4/3, 5. If you can find the distance between those two, you're going to find your radius. So now it's about knowing the distance formula. You want to memorize that because it's super helpful on test day here. And distance formula is found by plugging in here's your distance, the square root of, I should write that out, sorry. The difference between your x coordinates added to the difference of your y coordinates. Once you add those two differences, after they're squared, you just square root it, and then you would end up with what you're looking for. And once you solve for that, what you would see is you have a distance of, just to save us time on this video, I have the calculation here. We have 1.66 is what the distance is. And because the formula is asking for the radius squared, when you square that, you end up with the equivalent of 25/9.